Hey everyone, it's technology expert Burton Kelso here with another tech tip to help you get the most out of the technology in your life. Today we're talking about how to upgrade your Mac to the latest OS. And in this instance, we're talking about Mac OS Tahoe. But these steps you could use to update any Mac to the latest operating system because you can't just go to the App Store and download the latest version of Mac OS. Doesn't always work. On a Windows computer, a little bit simpler. On a Mac, there are some steps that you needed to take in order to ensure that you can update your Mac OS. Now, the good thing about Mac OS is that it's kind of a regular thing that happens. So every September, like the Earth, Wind, and Fire song, Apple usually releases their latest OS. Last year it was Sequoia. This year it is Tahoe. But again, don't let this video fool you. These steps you need to take every time you decide to update your Mac OS. So what steps do we need to do? So first step is that you need to make sure that if your Mac is supported by the latest operating system. So that's the biggest challenge is your Mac support the latest Mac OS operating system. Now there's a lot of places you can go on the internet to ensure that your Mac is going to work. But I'll give you a quick tip. If your Mac is a 2020 or newer, then you can update to Mac OS Tahoe. But overall, if you have a 2020 Mac, you can update your Mac. If you've got a Mac that's anywhere from 2010 to 2019, bets are off. You won't be able to update to the latest operating systems. In fact, I think with Mac OS, the latest was 2017. And to kind of give you an idea as far as Apple's logic, normally they will support computers for a 5-year period. So if your computer or your Mac computer is older than 5 years, you're not getting the latest operating system. And if you've updated, usually your Mac will let you know that you've reached the end of the line and that it's got all of the recent updates. So keep that in mind. Next step, as far as your Mac is concerned, you need to make sure that your Mac has enough space. Now, as far as room is concerned, a lot of Mac OSs take up gigabytes worth of information, and it's increased over the years. Current Mac OSs or Mac OS for Tahoe can take up to about 15 gigabytes just for the file to be installed on your computer. And I know one of the challenges with Apple devices, especially if you have a MacBook Air or even a MacBook Mini, you may not have enough room on your Mac. So how can you check? Because I know that's the question of the century. Let me get on my Mac Mini and I will show you how to check for storage. So let's switch screens here, take a look at the old Mac Mini, and we're going to go ahead and log in. Give me a second here. Make sure I enter my password in right. Make sure that we get into this Mac, and we're in. So how do we check that room on our Mac? Pretty darn simple. If you can follow the cursor here, you want to go to the Apple menu. Once you're in the Apple menu, you want to go to About This Mac. When you're in your Mac, Apple makes it pretty darn simple for you to see that information. So if you click on More Info, which I'm about to do now, it will give you information about the storage of your Mac. So let's scroll down to storage, and there we go. And as you can see under storage, it's got a hard drive of 256 gigabytes worth of storage room. I know the mouse keeps moving around, but I've got 142 gigabytes worth of data available on my Mac to update to the latest Mac OS, which is plenty enough room. Now, the challenge is, once we get out of all of this, is what are you going to do in order to free up room? Well, the good news is that most Macs allow you to store your information on your iCloud drive, meaning desktop and documents can be stored on iCloud, freeing up room on your Mac. You may have to do the old-fashioned method to ensure that your Mac has enough room by simply removing items from your Mac to free up room. Um, Doing so, you can move that information to an external hard drive. You also can move it to a USB drive. So keep that in mind when updating your Mac. Now, next step as far as upgrading your Mac is to make sure that your Mac is working properly. Sometimes with Mac OS or with Macs, you may want to update to the latest operating system because your Mac is not working the way that it should. Make sure if to ensure that your Mac is working properly, restart your Mac. Make sure that you aren't getting any error messages or getting the I was going to say the bubble of death, but I was going to say the beach ball of death when it comes to your Mac. Uh, if your Mac is working properly, you'll ensure that you're going to have a smooth transition. If you are experiencing any issues with your Mac, it's a good possibility that you will have problems not backing up, which is our next step, but updating your Mac to the next OS. Getting ahead or moving ahead, yeah, make sure that you make a backup of your Mac. There are several ways that you can back up the information on your Mac. You can use Time Machine. You can use an external hard drive. If you're curious about Time Machine, let's take a look at Time Machine so that you can understand how to make that work. Now, Time Machine is Apple's built-in program that will allow you to back up your Mac. You can simply, if we switch screens here, uh, go to Spotlight, type in the word Time Machine, which I'm going to do right now. Time Machine. Let's see, you haven't selected the location, so we're going to set up Time Machine. Get out of those recents because I don't know what that's from. But as you can see, Time Machine pops up. You can add a backup disk of either an external hard drive or a USB drive, and Time Machine will back up your information over a 24-hour period. Why is this important to back up your information on your Mac? Well, there have been instances of failed operating system updates when it comes to Mac, and so you want to ensure that if you do update your Mac, you want to have a backup just in case that operating system installation fails. It's rare, but sometimes if your hard drive on your Mac is bad, it can definitely cause issues. And if a hard drive fails during a Mac update, it's almost impossible to get the information off of that drive. So you can back up to Time Machine. You can utilize iCloud to back up your information. If it's just photos that you want, you could back up your information to OneDrive. You can back up that information to Dropbox. There's a variety of ways that you can back up the information, but the important thing is to make sure that before you do that update, you do a backup of your Mac. Now, next step is to make sure that you are logged into iCloud. Now, get logged into iCloud because the challenge is that in order for you to download Tahoe or any Mac operating system, you have to be connected to iCloud. How do we do that? Pretty darn simple. Let's bring up the Mac. Close out a screen here. Let's get the Mac where it's full screen. Let me share my Mac screen. Not iCloud, but yeah, iCloud or the App Store. It's pretty simple. You can go to the App Store. You will get a prompt if you're not logged into the App Store to get logged in. You can also, well, there you go. You can also click on, there will be a blank icon. Go to account settings and you can get logged into iCloud. So let's close that out. Let's remind me later. And then sign into your Apple account. There you go. Sign in. Put your password in, which I think I know what it is. Gonna put that in there and let's sign in. But that's the key thing too, is to ensure that you know your Apple ID and your password before you line in. It's got the wrong address there, but that's okay. You won't be able to find me. But that's it. You do have to be logged into iCloud, and you will know because your Apple ID icon of your picture of yourself will be set up when you log into your iCloud account, and especially when you visit the App Store. So keep that in mind before you attempt to update your Mac to the latest operating system, that you have to be logged into the App Store. What are we going to do next? I think that's everything that you need to do as far as connect. But there's one last thing that you should do before you attempt to download the latest Mac OS update, and that's to make sure you connect to a fast and stable internet connection. So these files for operating system install, especially for Tahoe, are large. So if you're using dial-up, God forbid, it's going to take you forever to download that file to even get the process started. But a fast and stable internet connection is going to be important when you update your Mac operating system. Now, finally, if you have all of those steps in place, you're ready to download Mac OS. And downloading Mac OS, how do we do it? Pretty simple. I'm going to show you how that process works, if I remember. So let's go over to our Mac and open it up. And I will show you what you need to do in order to get that process started to download Tahoe or any version of Mac OS. So sharing the screen of my Mac Mini, what you need to do is go to the Apple menu. Once you're at the Apple menu, you need to go to System Settings. Once you are in System Settings, you need to maneuver over to Software Update. Once you click on Software Update, lo and behold, you should see the screen to update to Mac OS Tahoe or whatever version of Mac OS that you are going to download. Now, also, you can see from the upgrade option for my Mac, I can update to Sequoia 15.7, or I can download to Tahoe 26. So the option is mine of what I need to update. Gives you the features of what's in the latest version of Tahoe if you decide to go there. There's more information as far as what you can do with Tahoe, so you can click on that. But in any case, once you click on update or upgrade now, it's going to start the process of downloading Tahoe onto this Mac, and you can see how large the file is for Tahoe, which is 8.97 gigabytes worth of data, and that's what you need on how much room you need on your Mac in order to get it. Now I clicked on the OS for Sequoia, which is 15.7, tells me what it's going to do, how large the file is, and then I can click on update now to start that process. So hopefully these instructions will give you steps in order to help you update to the latest version of Mac OS for your Mac product. Now, if you've got comments or questions about how to update your Mac, leave them in the comment section below. Would love to hear from you to help you get your Mac to the latest version. Now, with this video, if you enjoyed it, be sure to comment, like, and share this video with family and friends and those people that you know who need help with the technology in their life. Now, my goal with every video is to open you all up to a whole new world of ideas and experiences when it comes to your technology. I love technology. I've read all the manuals, and I'm serious about making technology fun, safe, and easy to use for everyone. So take care of yourself and do many things to make you smile, and thanks for watching.